Yo, what's up? What's up? I'm starting a series about the restoration build of my 1993 Nissan 240 SX here. And you may not care about these old Japanese cars, but I do. So listen up. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, this car is important to me. It's something I've wanted for a really long time. It's also sentimental because I got it the week my daughter was born. Yeah, most people are focused on their child, and I was. But I was also focused on building a long-time dream of mine. I've been in love with the Nissan 240 SX since I was 16. It was one of my first cars. I've owned them ever since. My first 240, funny enough, I drifted into a tree when I was 17 years old. If you have a similar story, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, I've had this car since, let's think, May of 2020. I got it off my friend Alexis here in New Hampshire. If you drift around New England at all, then you're familiar with Alexis. She's a cool chick who has done a lot for the drifting community. So shout out to Alexis. Every piece I got from this car, a lot of them are from friends, local people in the community. So I'm going to be shouting them out all along the way. So stay tuned and let's watch every step of the process of this restoration. Follow along. It was a completely stripped shell when I first got it, not one nut or bolt on it. So with the help of 3 of my buddies, we lifted it up and put it on my trailer. As you can see here, it was already starting to rust, so I didn't want to waste any time. I took it right to the sandblasting yard. My sandblaster stripped the whole car right on my trailer for only $300, and I was thrilled with his work. So my friends and I unloaded it into my shop so I could get some epoxy primer on it right away to prevent any flash rust. After thoroughly cleaning the car with a wax and grease remover, I spray every surface with Omni epoxy primer. This primer has a flash time of about 40 minutes. That means I can spray any top coat over it within that amount of time. So I sprayed a bit of SEM rubberized undercoat to protect the underside. Then I sprayed the full interior with my base coat color of choice. At this point, my daughter is only 1 week old, and so is my project. It's time to replace the front clip that was previously chopped off of this chassis. So my buddy Ryan Woodbury and I got this front clip off of Ryan Turek. It was one of his old missile cars. Once I had the aprons and radiator support fit how I like, it was time to weld it up. Here's my girl Chickie Minaj making sure it's all structurally sound. This is the point where the project starts to jump around a little bit, but it's how a guy with undiagnosed ADHD builds a car, so bear with me. I got a tip that there was another 240 Coupe at a local junkyard, so my buddy Joe Scary and I went over there to tear it apart. And I got this whole rear interior for only $75. Tell me if you know where this piece goes. My buddy Ryan Coughlin hooked me up with these authentic 16-inch RS Watanabes. My buddy Andre Diaz sold me this torn-down SR20 for only $100. And I picked up a second one from a local kid for $600. Both of them need to be rebuilt, but we'll save that for a later day. Tuan Trin reached out to me and sold me this complete brown interior for $500. You can tell by my daughter Charlotte here that I'm a little over a year into this project already. Now let's get back to the chassis. My door hinges were sagging pretty badly, so I had to replace the pins and bushings all around. First, you have to remove the C-clip that locks the hinge pin in and then drive the pin out.
I got all of the factory pins and bushings from nissanparts.cc. They have a great website and excellent customer service, so I highly recommend them. Now that the new bushings are installed, I can put the hinge back on and drive the pin through.
But you get it in place, line up the pin, and just start tapping it in. All right, and here is the hinge back on the door. You can see I've got the new pin in there. You try to keep it nice and centered with an even spacing on both sides because there is a tiny little gap on the top and the bottom. But you should be fine as long as you keep them even. And you need to leave a little spot right there on the pin. There's almost a chamfer where the little C-clip will fit on. So you take that back the way it came off, just get it in place, and you can tap that on with a punch or a chisel. All right, so I've got the door all mounted with the hinges all finished, mounted up with some new hardware. Let's see how it works. Ooh, straight on. Nice. The body line looks good too.
Now that the hinges are done, I want to bodywork the doors and try out my color samples to make sure I'm making the right choice.
So I've stripped all the paint off with a grinder and then run a skim coat of body filler over the whole door. So that way we can take out any imperfections. Preserve the body line, so I left this little piece of tape over that body line, and then you just peel it up. And there you go. Here's the door all sanded.
I block sanded the door with 80 grit, 180 grit, and then 220 to finish it. After cleaning the panel thoroughly, I spray on a few generous coats of Nissan 2K High Build Primer. Dust on a little bit of black spray paint to use as a guide, which shows me where to sand. In this video, I had already sprayed the bottom of the door with a dark gray metallic and masked it up with that yellow masking tape. Now I'm spraying the mint green color on top because this is going to be a two-tone paint job. After the clear coat dried, I got the panel outside to take a look at it in the sunlight, and this factory seafoam green just wasn't hitting right. So I decided to play around with some other colors. I saw this color on a 97 Toyota RAV4 and I fell in love. It's called Ocean Mist Metallic. I sprayed the Toyota color on the passenger door just so I can compare the difference side by side. And you can see here that there's a drastic difference. The Toyota color just has that extra pizzazz that I was looking for. Now let's get back to the chassis. The engine bay had a few more spots that I had to fabricate and bodywork. After I was satisfied with that, it's prime time. Like most 240s, the roof was buckled, stretched, and oil canning, so I had to shrink the metal to keep it from popping in and out. Now we're getting into some real body work. I'm a master mudslinger. Hopefully this POV footage doesn't make you too nauseous. After the primer sets up, I dust a little black base coat over it just as a guide, which shows me where to sand. After letting the primer dry overnight, I block sand the whole car with 180 and 220 grit on my longboard. This is a crucial step to ensure that my bodywork is as smooth as glass. The goal here is to level off any minor imperfections so I can prime it again with a reduced primer. This is the first stage of my primer, all sanded smooth with 220 grit on my longboard. Now it's time to reprime the whole car with the same primer, but this time it's a little reduced so it lays down nice and smooth. Now it's time to spray on my guide coat again, which shows me where to sand. After my primer dries for a couple of hours, I spray on some SEM rubberized undercoat to protect the underside of the car. I like to do this now so I won't have to do it after the car is painted later and risk getting overspray on the whole car. Next on the list, I have to tackle the bodywork to these OEM steel Sylvia fenders. First, I grind all the paint back and make sure all of the metalwork is as straight as possible. Then I skim coat the entire panel in Evercoat Z-Grip Light White Body Filler. Now that the bodywork is done to the fenders, I get those in primer and get the doors mounted on the chassis. I like to test fit everything before I start to prep for paint. Before I paint, I add all new sound deadening just to make sure it's a nice quiet ride. I spend an entire day wet sanding the entire car with 4 and 600 grit. I Scotch-Brighted all the edges and I make sure it's super clean before I start to paint. Here I'm spraying the dark gray metallic base coat over the whole bottom section of the car. I'm not gonna lie, that fade is looking pretty sweet. After I let that base coat dry for a couple of hours, it's time to mask it up for the two-tone. Here I'm spraying the Ocean Mist Metallic base coat. I spray 3 to 4 coats of this base coat. I apologize if this makes you seasick. Once the base coat dries, I can unmask the lower section and get ready for clear. Here's how it looked when the fog cleared, about an hour after I finished spraying. Not bad for a paint job in my home garage. At this point in the project, I've already owned it for a little over a year and a half. You can tell here because my daughter Charlotte has changed drastically since the beginning of the video. Here I'm installing some brand new door strikers that I got from nissanparts.cc. Next, I need to find a set of taillights. Good thing I'm a hoarder. First, I clean them all up with a degreaser. Then, I Scotch-Brite them with a wax and grease remover. Here, I'm adding a little black paint to some clear coat. That way I can tint my taillights. I sprayed on 2 coats and got the finish that I was looking for. Just dark enough. In my next episode, the car really starts to come together. I get all of my suspension together, installed and dialed in, and the car finally hits the ground for the first time in almost 2 years. Here's a sneak peek at a birthday gift that my wife bought me. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe, because I'll be dropping a new video each week related to this car and other cool car content. Thanks for watching.